Studios, where sports meets that thing called life. I hope you're having yourself a great Friday morning. Happy Friday. Happy Buffalo Bills victory morning. Circle them wagons, baby. Get it going. We got a lot of stuff to get into, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of fun to be had here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We're in a Friday, a TGIF, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of the Café Kubal Studios. We appreciate Café Kubal so very much for all that they do here in our community, and cannot thank them enough for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Café Kubal, located on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, New York, as well as inside of their double-decker cafe on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. And you can also find them by going to the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road to Sweetheart Corner. So make sure that you do that and connect with them there. And a big, big time thanks to Café Kubal for all that they do at every location to be different, to treat us well, and to build our Central and Upstate New York community. Big shout out to Matt Goddard and the team. With that being said, you are tuning in live here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT. You're also with us on Facebook.com / Live Now DT, and on WakeUpCallDT.com, where the MixLR feed is embedded. So make sure that you're with us on any one of these channels every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We always appreciate having you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and can't thank you enough for being a part of the broadcast. A lot of great stuff coming up here today, and always, always happy to be here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we appreciate you being here with us today, and thank you so much for being a part of the show here where sports meets life. You know, on social media, you can always find us and connect with us 24/7 on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, the Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. So however you're connecting with us, thank you so much, and make sure you tell your friends, family, coworkers, and colleagues how to connect with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and of course to subscribe to that YouTube channel that you are currently watching and listening on by going to youtube.com / Wake Up Call DT. That's youtube.com / Wake Up Call DT. So however you're connecting with us, thank you so much for being a part of the show and for being with us every Monday through Friday. We truly do appreciate that so very much. A lot of great stuff coming up inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics and guests for every single broadcast that we do here on Wake Up Call Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to start off the show as we always do with the annoying moment of the week. AMOW, baby. AMOW. If you have an annoying moment of the week, send it over to us and just use the hashtag AMOW, or you could say annoying moment. Love to hear yours. You could send it to us on youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all / Wake Up Call DT, because every single one of those has a live feed going on right now. So make sure you send it over to us. We'd love to hear your annoying moment of the week. We're going to get to that first, brought to you by Carvel DeWitt, and then around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will head on to Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Very excited to have Lead with you here today on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So we'll get into Lead, which is our acronym, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, and we are going to be jumping into another acronym I created, Lead I created, and today I'm going to talk about the acronym that I made up this week for PEACE, PEACE, what it stands for, what it means, and why it is so important every single day at all times. And then we'll get into the top, and that's brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Then we'll get into the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week is going to be honored by the wonderful teams at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. So we're going to be giving you that in just a little bit here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And then joining me at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, Gina Castelli, UAlbany on the coaching staff for women's basketball at UAlbany. Gina Castelli, former Lemoyne College women's basketball head coach here. Big fan of Gina Castelli. She's going to be joining the show because she is an avid Bills fan for many years. So I can't wait to talk with her about everything that happened last night with the 31-10 victory for the Bills. She also has a lot of superstitions and different things, so an avid Bills fan with plenty of fun to talk about. We're going to have a good time with her at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and then we are going to move forward with the Bills conversation and welcome my co-host that was on the show with me yesterday when we did a live special engagement broadcast from Pizza Man Pub on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, and that is my man Cookie is going to be joining the show. Jeff Cook will be a part of the broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, so very excited to have him be a part of the broadcast with me at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time, the president of the BVille Bills Backers and the official bar of the BVille Bills Backers, Pizza Man Pub. So you can definitely go out and watch the Bills games at Pizza Man as well as head out to Pizza Man at all times. And you're going to have the opportunity to hear from Cookie again this morning. So we did the pregame. Now you're going to hear his postgame thoughts. And very excited to have him on the show. So plenty coming up here inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', and that's why you see the Bills logo with Gina Castelli joining us at 10:15 and at 10:45. Cookie is going to bring us into the weekend. Very excited for all of that coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. And with that being said, we are going to hop into the first part of today's broadcast, which is the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Always excited to bring you the annoying moment of the week. And you never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Sometimes I don't either, which is a great thing. So here we go.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like. Well, for those of you that follow me on social media, you know that I put up a post yesterday of something that I created, and that was a statement that I put out there. I said, lies catch up to you faster than a roadrunner on cocaine. And the reason why I put it up there is because I had been lied to, and I had been lied to in such a big way, and really is kind of an extension of a first impression of somebody. And, you know, my thing with lying is, I got a lot of thoughts with lying. So first and foremost, when you lie, you have to remember everything you said, right? And I take issue with that, right? I take issue with the fact that of people lying, but they should take issue with themselves because they have to remember every single lie they told. They have to remember who they told it to, and they have to be able to keep it going. Now, I had dated someone in the past that was an incredibly good liar, to the point where they didn't let on at all that they were lying. And even when you caught them, they just kept going. And that, to me, is horrifying. Those are the people you need to get away from, right? You need to literally, don't worry about pass and go, collecting $200. This is not Monopoly. Just go, baby, go. When people lie and they're good at it, and they can't, and they don't even break character when you catch them in the lie, dangerous world to be in. But see, my annoying moment of the week, it's when you lie, you will get found out. You always get found out. When you lie, you get found out. And that's with anything. That's with lying about anything. You get found out. I mean, that's just the reality of it all. When you lie, and again, you have to remember it. You have to be able to go back to it and pick it up from where you left off. And, you know, there is a reality to the fact that, you have to always be, if you're a liar, you always have to look over your shoulder. Now, some people lie so much they don't even know what the truth is anymore. And that's sad. It's true in some cases, but it's really sad to be in a situation like that where you lie so much you don't even know what the truth is. You don't know which end is up. You don't know where you're heading, where you're going. But I want to caution people when you lie. Because when you lie, and some people say, well, I lied because I was embarrassed. And I've heard excuses, right? I lied because I was embarrassed of what I did. And that, you can use that once or twice, right? But it doesn't work for every lie. And when people lie and you find out, I'm the type of person that says, hey, you get another chance, right? You get an opportunity to fix it. You get an opportunity to right yourself. You get an opportunity to show me that you can be an honest person. But lies will catch up to you faster than a roadrunner on cocaine. And that's true. And I've seen it. I've seen it in my professional life, and I've seen it in my personal life. In my professional life, when it happened to me recently, it was uncanny. Because I kind of got the vibe of it, and I felt it, and I wasn't surprised by it. And then when it happened, I was like, wow. And then when you're the person that figures out that somebody's lied, you have one of two things that you could do, right? You can give it back to them. You could be mean. You could be heartless. You could be rude. Or you can find a way to get your point across respectfully, because I'm a firm believer that you should never change the good person that you are because you're mad at what somebody did that was bad to you, right? You shouldn't give up your morals and your values just to get back at somebody. And, I will never understand why people, well, I lied to you to protect you, right? We've all heard different things. I lied to you to protect you. It doesn't protect you. I lied to you because I was embarrassed. That doesn't make it. There's nothing that makes it better. Once you lie, there's nothing that you can say as an excuse where you're like, oh, okay. Because at the end of the day, they lied to you. And when you ruin trust, then it's all over. People say, well, Dan, what about love? You got to have love in a relationship, right? In a friendship, family, romantic, you got to have love. Yeah, you do. But trust and love, you got to have both. And if you have love for someone, but you can't trust them, it will ruin the relationship. Trust is a very unique dance. And once it's gone, and it doesn't come back. And I knew that. I knew that years ago when I was in a relationship and she broke my trust. My heart and my mind, they say that when your heart and your mind agree with each other, listen to them, because usually they're fighting each other. And my heart, I felt like my brain, like my mind looked down at my heart and said, hey, are you good? And my heart went, yep. And it was like, we don't need to talk about anything. And it's like, no, we're good. And in that moment, because it was something that destroyed trust, right? You spend so much time building, and some people don't care about that, right? They don't even care that they built up trust. They don't care that you trust them. It is very hard to trust somebody. And in today's world, right, it's hard to trust because there's so many places where people can hide. I'm convinced that Snapchat was set up for people to cheat on each other. And I thought that, way back before I had even heard about people doing things, just because of the way it's set up, right? You could send a picture and it disappears. You could send a message and it disappears. You can make invisible where you are, where your location is. So there's things out there now today, right? Facebook dark mode. You can go into these secret modes. And the thing is like, why would Facebook have a dark mode? Why does Snapchat, and by the way, everything on the internet doesn't get deleted. It's saved somewhere. So if you're sending pictures, please understand somebody has this. But the reality of it all is, and the messages, but the reality of it all is there's apps and there's portions of apps that have been set up for people to be secretive and to lie and to hide. And I find that to be very sad. There's a lot of problems with Facebook. I utilize it as a vehicle, but there's a million problems with how they treat businesses, because if we don't pay them, they punish us. And it's ridiculous. and their community standards is such a broad thing that has really no definition and it makes no sense. I put up a picture one time of Jim Boeheim because I did an interview with Jim, and it was Jim on the sideline like this, just looking forward. It was a picture of Jim Boeheim. They said it went against their community standards and the content. And I'm like, okay, it's a human being standing, looking forward. He's not swearing, he's not yelling. And so it's beyond me. And it's another annoying moment of the week, right? Social media and its seeking of saying free speech, but only free speech to those that they consider they agree with. And I think in the world we live in today, and in the world we lived in yesterday, people cheat, people lie, people steal, people do things. But now it's so much easier to do it, and some things kind of like, are set up to ask you essentially if you'd like to, I remember being on Facebook and you scroll down into something and it's like, or it was Instagram and it's like, do you want to go into vanish mode? And it was just because I had scrolled down too far and I was confused by it. So, I mean, that's something that, I did. I looked down, I was on my phone like this, right? And I went down and there was vanish mode. And I was like, what's vanish mode? And then I thought to myself, oh, it's a way for me to hide whoever I'm talking to in a special place, right? Even when you are, going off of that vanish mode thing, even on your phone, even on your iPhone, there's a hidden portion for pictures. You can have a photo album that is hidden that you can put pictures in that you don't want anybody to see, but you could still keep them on your phone. Greg said, trust equals safety. Basically, building block for human needs and relationships. Got to have it and must be established. And yeah, and people that follow my social media and this and that, they're like, of recent history of a couple months ago, were like, what happened? You were in a relationship, what happened? It like disappeared. Trust equals safety. There was no trust, there was no establishment of trust, and I didn't feel safe. And ultimately, everything that person did made me feel unsafe. Nothing was safe. And the longer I was there, the more I was afraid for my future, afraid for the people around me, and afraid for my sanity. Because some people just hurt people. And I say this all the time, and I can't take credit for this. Hurt people hurt people. People that are hurt other people. And they'll give you the excuse, I didn't know, I didn't understand. And this is the thing. The first time, okay. But I've met plenty of people in life where the first time, the 75th time, the 303rd time, they tell you, I didn't know what I was doing. And I remember talking to somebody about one of their parents, and I said, your mom has done the same thing consistently for multiple years, over and over and over again. It's not a mistake. It's a habit. She knows what she's doing. She did it on purpose, and she does it the same, like it looks the same every single time. Does it, oh no, what did I do? I didn't know, whoa, and then does it again. You can't accidentally do the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's not an accident, right? And you can't bump into a parked car, 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 and keep going, oh, it's an accident, right? I mean, it is, by definition, an accident, but you have to pay more attention. If you're on your cell phone every time you're parallel parking and you bump into a parked car, it's not an accident. You're on your cell phone. And the first time you do it, maybe it was an accident. The 87th time you do it on your phone, it's not an accident. So, I think that in today's society, it's this weird thing that happens in today's society. Everybody's innocent and doesn't want to be held accountable, but so many people blame people and point fingers. It's this weird thing where like the people pointing fingers are the same people saying, don't point a finger at me and I'm innocent and I don't do anything wrong ever. I know somebody that's done some pretty bad things in their life to people they've been around who said to me this week, I have never done anything wrong. And I'm sitting here going, this person has been on the planet for multiple decades. They are old enough to know right from wrong. And to hear those words and to know that it's not true, but to know somebody believes that, right? That they believe that. Trust is such a delicate thing, and responsibility that goes along with that, right? If you're a parent, you're responsible for how you raise that kid. And when you raise them wrong, and you don't teach them responsibility, and you don't teach them to be trustworthy, and you don't teach them about love, and you don't teach them about equality, and you don't teach them to treat everybody with respect. Like, when none of that is there, because you're not teaching that to them, you're leaving that child with us, and they're going to treat us like garbage, right? When you're a parent, you're responsible. When you're a boyfriend or a girlfriend, husband, wife, you're responsible. A fiance, you're responsible. You know? I have seen in a few weeks, 3 weeks' time, so many people get hurt, me included, from people that I literally look at and say, how can you live the life you live and feel nothing? Nothing. And it happens to me, and then a couple days later I talk to a friend and something happened to them, and then a week later I talk to them and something happened to them. And I see all of these good people getting to a point where we're like, you know what? We're just gonna go off on a beach somewhere, get a little moment to ourselves. Because it is. I mean, I don't think people understand that kindness is not weakness. Kindness is not weakness. Kindness is kindness, and weakness is weakness. And kindness is saying, you're not a nice person, but I'm not going to meet you at that level, right? And to bring it all back to lying, when you're not responsible and you don't care and it's about you and it doesn't matter and you're only in it for yourself and you don't really care what happens to you, no one should date anybody, be friends with anybody, or even put themselves out in public if they don't care about human life beyond theirs or the lives of animals or anything like that. And that's not me saying like be a shut-in, I'm saying check yourself in the mirror in the morning. If other people's feelings don't matter to you, if hurting people, like if you hurt people, you move on, 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 you have become a virus in society that's worse than AIDS, it's worse than COVID, it's worse than HIV, it's worse than cancer, it's worse than anything. When human beings decide to hurt people and they carry on as if nothing ever happened, when lying becomes the truth, when lying becomes easy, when lying is so second nature to you, you don't even know that you're doing it anymore. That to me is an annoying moment of the week, because I have dealt with liars and cheats, and I can tell you that, some people, because you say, oh, Dan, everybody deserves a second chance. That's not true. It's not true. It's not true. People deserve a second chance that actually ask for it and work for it. Right? Because there are people that won't ask for another chance because they don't think they did anything wrong. And there will be people that will ask for a second chance and do it all over again. And you have to call it out at some point in your life. You have to call it out at some point in your life. Even if you do it silently, you have to call it out and you got to move on. Because lies will catch up to you faster than a roadrunner on cocaine. And when those lies catch up to you and you actually have to see yourself for who you are, the longer you spent lying, the longer you spent not apologizing, the longer you spent with all that nasty vile, the more giant of a pile you're going to have to sift through in order to get your life together. See, people don't understand that. When you don't handle a problem and you don't handle a problem and you don't handle a problem, that mountain only gets bigger, deeper, and more vast. Think about it like this. It's like if you didn't shovel outside. You don't shovel the snow, there's 2 inches. Then there's a foot. Then there's 2 feet. Then there's 3.5 feet. It doesn't, if it's cold outside, it doesn't just go away. It doesn't just go away. And people live life thinking, well, you know what? Yeah, I threw that snow outside. I affected those people, but somebody will clean up the snow for me. And shame on the parents that raised those people, or really honestly didn't raise those people, because I think dang near everybody that I've met their parents that hasn't been responsible, I see exactly where it came from. My parents taught me, when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right, right? Don't be conceited when you're right, and when you're wrong, don't you dare act like you're right. Say you're sorry. Don't wait for them. Fix your problems. Fix what you're doing. And my mom and my dad told me when I was a kid, if you do the same bad habit over and over and over again and you get away with it, eventually you're not going to get away with it. And you don't want that day to come. So figure it out. And, you know, I mean, really what I'm saying in the annoying moment of the week is, why are there people out there in society? We have been through so much together. We have been through hell together. We have been through hell together. We've been through 2+ years of a pandemic. Something the world hasn't seen in forever. Something the world thought it would never see again. We have been through craziness. Wearing masks, having to socially distance. You can't hug. You can't go to church. You can't kiss your relatives. You can go to Lowe's, but you can't go to Cafe Kubal. There has been so much craziness. Things that make no sense. Things that, like, honestly, and amidst all of this, people with political, this side, that side, religion, my God, does God exist? I hate this, I hate that. I mean, free speech being utilized as a way for people to strike each other. Violence, hate, people saying that they're for equality when really they want to pull everybody apart. And people dumb enough to follow like sheep through this whole process. We have been through over 2 years of craziness, blasphemy, hate, destruction, and separation. If you are a terrible person this morning, you learn nothing from a pandemic that killed, what, almost 1 million people? Hundreds of thousands of people left this earth in the last 2+ years. If you're still a jerk today, get your life together. And I said that. I said that when things started to lighten up and we were coming outside and we didn't have to wear masks anymore. I said, if you are not a better person than you were 2 years ago, then you honestly have learned nothing, and I want you to go on an island and figure it out. Because if you could go through a pandemic and still be a vile, mean, hateful, untrustworthy, lying, cheating, evil human being after a pandemic, get your life together, right? When somebody dies, it's supposed to put you in check, right? Don't hold grudges. Don't be mean. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's things in life that, if nothing else works, is supposed to shockwave you into reality. If a pandemic didn't stop you from being a liar and just a hateful, mean person, then you are one of the sickest human beings on this planet. And I hope to God that you fix yourself. Because this world has been through so much that the things that I've heard in the last 3 weeks that have happened to people, I genuinely am saddened by the fact that some people on this spinning rock have no care or concern for any other human being besides themselves, if they even care about themselves. So, mark my words, write the day down and the time. Your lies will catch you faster than a roadrunner on cocaine. And that is not me wishing bad on you. You did it to yourself. And when it catches up to you, you're going to have to deal with it. God has a funny way of, when you don't deal with it, He keeps giving it to you and giving it to you until you do. And if you Don't do it right, he gives it to you again. So if you feel like you've been taking the same test in life over and over again, maybe it's because you either refused to take it or you didn't pass it. So do us all a favor and be a good person. Because if not, you may just find yourself in my annoying moment of the week. 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Carvel DeWitt, thanking you so much for all that you do in our community. The longest standing Carvel franchise in America, led by Jay Cartini and a fantastic team. There's Carvel and there's Carvel DeWitt. I love Carvel. I go to Carvel DeWitt because they're just a step above. They're a step above because Carvel's a step above. So go to Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Open 7 days a week and open every season. Don't let any of the weather fool you. Those flavors are there for you every single day. So go get them today. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back around, we'll talk about LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. And LEAD is going to deliver to you a new acronym. An acronym is going to deliver to you an acronym. How about that? It's like breaking the fourth wall, right? When something that is something gives you the same thing. Yeah. So we're going to have some fun with it after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. Cafe Kubal, fill your cup up right today and every day of the week. Head out to Cafe Kubal on 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York. You can also find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location in North Syracuse, right by the airport. And you could find them by going to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, in their giant behemoth of a brown-striped building. So make sure you head out to Cafe Kubal today. For those of you out of town, go to cafekubal.com. That's Cafe, Kubal.com. And pumpkin spice is back, baby. Anybody that hates, listen, we all have different palates, right? If you don't like pumpkin spice, but there's the people that like hate pumpkin spice that like lose their mind over it. Listen, something happened in your childhood, you had a bad Halloween, somebody didn't, give you the toy you wanted. I don't know what it was, but leave us alone. I like pumpkin spice. Many people do. If you don't like pumpkin spice, that's okay. But keep it to yourself. I don't go around going, I don't like this. You know what I mean? I'll joke around about things. I'll joke around about black licorice, but, pumpkin spice and everything nice, baby. Make sure you go out and you get it today. There's so many different flavors at Café Cubal. My favorite's pumpkin spice. And I've never had chai like I've had chai at Café Cubal, which is why for years that's where I go for my chai. Period. Exclamation point, actually. So make sure you head out to Café Cubal today. It is time to get into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics for the day. We are now into Lead. Once again, the acronym Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, Deliver, which has so much to do with so many things we talk about here on the show. And today, the acronym Lead that I created is going to be discussing a topic of another acronym I created for peace. So, today's topic is the acronym PEACE. If those of you follow me on social media, on Instagram, daily pretty much, I put out something on my story. And I always try to put out something positive, right? I always try to give you something positive to keep and have there with you. And so, with that being said, if you have seen it this past week, you know where I'm going with this. And if you haven't seen it, well, I'm happy to share it with you. I was thinking about peace. And as the annoying moment of the week and Lead bond together more often than not, one of the things that disrupted my peace was being lied to and disrespected. And so I was thinking a lot about peace, and I thought to myself, how do I find peace? How do I create it for myself? And how do I hold on to it? And it brought me to this acronym, which to me stands for PEACE. Personal evolution amidst calm environment. But I've evolved the acronym because we need to be peaceful, not when it's calm, that's easy. But we need to be peaceful amidst chaos, right? We need to be peaceful, pardon me on that, peaceful amidst chaos. So my acronym for peace has been evolved, to keep with Lead, into personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. Because when you think of peace, right, you think, oh, about the beach. I'm listening to the sounds of the waves. I'm just finding. It's easy to find peace that way. But to me, true peace comes when you can be relaxed and not allow the environment around you to change you, right? If you're in good spirits and you're surrounded by people that are negative, because sometimes we can't choose our environment, right? Sometimes, like, okay, in the case of me covering a game, if I go to cover a game and there's a bunch of negative media around me, I'm there to cover the game. I can't control that they're also there to cover the game. And if they're negative, right, peace, yeah, I can go find peace on a beach. But can I find peace amidst negativity? Can I find peace in a relationship that is not bearing good fruit? Can I find peace in being lied to? Can I find peace in a scary situation? Can I find peace in turbulence on an airplane? Can I find peace in hearing news I didn't want to get. Right? So peace to me is personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. Personal evolution, taking care of yourself, growing, never dying, living, never ceasing, persisting. Personal evolution, moving upward amidst chaotic environment. Because the people that know true peace are the people that don't let their peace be disrupted by chaos. Right? If you put most of us on a beach, I feel like we could probably relax. But if you put us in a scary relationship, if you put us in a bad work environment, if you put us in a household where, you know, people are abusive, or in a relationship where people are abusive, how do you find your peace? Right? Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. How many people do you know that can stay calm and peaceful and evolve, not only just be at peace, but become a better person in the middle of a storm? Not just be in the storm and be okay, but become a better person in the middle of it. Right? Now, I'm not telling you to stay around storms. But sometimes in that moment, you have no choice, right? Because things are going to happen to you in life. And you're going to ask why. You're going to ask why these things happen. But things are going to happen to you in life. And you think they happen to you, they happen for you. Right? Because I'll say to God, why was I in this relationship? Why did this happen to me? And God would turn around and say, well, look at what happened. Right? That happened to get you. I got you out of it. I saved you. Right? You say, God, why did this bad thing happen? And God turns back to you and says, that happened because I needed you to see what this was before it was too late. You know, how many times has something happened in your life and you call up one of your loved ones and they say, thank God you figured it out now. Thank God you figured out that that's who your boss is now. Thank God you figured that out before you married that person. Thank God you found that out about the house before you bought it. Because you're thinking, well, dang it, I wanted that house. Well, dang it, I wanted that relationship. Well, dang it, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be jobless. And what do people what do they usually say to you, the people that love you? Thank God you found out now. Thank God you found out 4 years in and not 20 years in. Thank God you found out before you had kids. Thank God you found out before you moved. Thank God you found out before you signed that. We focus sometimes so much on the thing that went wrong instead of thanking God for the fact that we found out before it could have gotten worse. Your peace is precious. And I'll tell you that people have put me in chaotic environments that I had no control over. And I didn't control my peace. I allowed that environment to disrupt my happiness, my calmness, my feelings of myself. And you can't do that. You have truly evolved into a healthy person when your environment doesn't dictate who you are and how you feel. If you are easily changed by other people's opinions of you, way that they treat you, and their emotions and their thoughts, you're in for a world of hurt. You are. If you are easily changed by other people, you're in for a worth of hurt. Because people will come into your life no matter how good of a person you are. And I think when you're a good person, more of these people come in because you're a good person and you give people a chance. When you're a good person, People will come into your life to disrupt you, to get you off your game, right? If you've ever had a friendship and you're like, oh man, I really didn't work on my career when I was friends with that person. They disrupted you. They were preventing you from being your best self. Oh man, when I dated that person, I really wasn't healthy. I gained weight. I didn't eat right. I had all these bad habits. They were sent to disrupt you. Well, you say, Dan, sent by who? Doesn't everybody come from God? Yeah, everybody comes from God, but that doesn't mean that that's where they've stayed. Every person was made by God, but it doesn't mean that's who they work for right now. And, I mean, think about a kid, right? You and your spouse make a child, but that child can make decisions to work for places that bring them down paths that's not good. You could do everything right, and you can raise them right, but they still make decisions. And no matter the fact that God made us all, it doesn't mean that we all listen. And, it's probability, right? The more children you have, the more opportunity is that there might be an issue, right? If you have one kid, yeah, they might be problematic, might have terrible twos. If you have 3 kids or 5 kids, there's a better chance that you might have a kid that maybe is a little bit tougher to deal with than the other ones. But it doesn't mean don't have them. It means the more people we put ourselves around, the higher the probability. But it could be your mom, could be your dad, it could be your neighbor. Think about this. If your neighbor put their trash on your lawn and they played their music loud and they swore and they threw their cigarettes on your driveway, yeah, you should say something. Yeah, you should stick up for yourself respectfully. Don't get yourself in a fight. And at the same time, they may never change. They may never change. They may never, ever change. And what are you going to do if they don't? What are you going to do if they never, ever change? What are you going to do if you call the cops and even after the cops come, that doesn't scare them and they don't change? What if they get worse? What are you going to do? Right? That's what I'm getting at with peace. Your peace cannot, and it's way easier said than done as everything is in life, but you cannot let your peace be determined by the attitudes, behaviors, words, and actions of other people. Because other people don't care about your peace. They're worried about their peace. And even the most caring person in the world they should want to take care of themselves. Because if they don't, I tell people this all the time. I'm like, wow, you're so caring, but you don't take care of yourself. Yeah, well, I don't really feel like da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, but the people that you care for, if you die or you get sick because you didn't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of them? Even when you're the most selfless person in the world, it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's essential. It's a necessity. Because the most giving person can't give if they're not here. So if your peace is easily disrupted by people, it's not peace. If you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm so happy, and you're in the house by yourself, and you open the door, you step outside, you take a deep breath of fresh air, and you get in your car, and then somebody cuts you off and you get mad. And then you go to the store and somebody cuts you in line and you're mad. And then someone calls you and you're mad. And then an ex texts you and you're mad. And then a friend lets you down because you're supposed to have plans and you're mad. You don't have peace. You have, I'm okay if nobody talks to me or sees me or does anything ever. And it's just me on the planet by myself. That's not peace. If every single one of us could say, like, if I woke up today and there was nobody else on the planet, right? There's nobody else on the planet. And I was just here by myself, it would be quiet. I might hear a bird. I might hear the water. But it would be quiet. Quiet is not peace. Quiet is quiet. The absence of problems is not peace. It's the absence of problems. True peace is personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. That's my acronym for peace. Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. I can grow and be okay no matter what's happening around me. And you realize that I said personal evolution. Right? I didn't just say taking care of yourself amidst chaotic environment. Personal evolution. Why? Because to me, a person who is living life in a healthy way is not just here amidst chaotic environment, they're evolving, right? And you say, Dan, it's hard enough to handle a chaotic environment. How do I involve in it? By finding peace. So how do I have personal evolution amidst chaotic environment? Well, you don't let the words and actions, and it's easier said than done, but you get to a point where people's words and actions do not change your day. You know, I got stressed out a couple days ago, and I was actually okay. I woke up, I was okay, I felt okay, things were okay, I went about my life, I was okay, I was around people, I was okay. And then I decided to talk to my mom about two situations that really upset me. And as I was talking about the situation, I was going, you know, I'm okay and I found more peace with this. And the more I talk about it, the more it brings me there and the more upset I get. Why am I talking about it? Why am I talking about it? I'm like, well, I should be able to talk about it. I should be okay. But when people go through a hurricane, it wouldn't be healthy for you to talk about that hurricane 3 years later and talk about that night because it's like PTSD and you're making yourself relive the hurricane every day. So it's the same thing with something that happens in your life. If you had a hurricane of a relationship, why would you talk about it over and over and over again? Because it just makes you live in that hurricane every day. My mom and my dad said the same thing separately. They said, you need to stop talking about this thing that's hurting you and bothering. Not like don't talk it out and whatever. But once you've talked it out, you've talked about it, and now you're repeating yourself. Stop talking about the thing, because the more you talk about it, the more upset you make yourself. And a couple days ago, I talked about two things that were bothering me, and I started the day at peace without much on my mind, and I ended the day feeling like my mouth was tight, my face was tight. I felt like there was this loss of energy in my body. I felt like my head felt different. I felt like I sucked the air out of my windpipe. And the only thing I did was talk about the things that disrupted my peace. I wasn't evolving. I was evolving that morning. Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. I evolved amidst all of the things that somebody did to me. But when I kept talking about this is what they did, this is what they did, this is what they did, I went back into it. And I devolved. So I want you to really think long and hard today about how much other people's words and actions affect you and affect the way you think about yourself. You know, they said the person that lives for the likes will die by the negative comments. You know, an actor or an actress that lives for the great reviews could be suicidal when they don't get them. And you say, well, Dan, you're in the world of entertainment. Aren't you supposed to please people? No, I'm supposed to please God. If I thought I need you all to like me, and I thought about that every day, my ears would be in pain, my body would, I would be in constant stress. Well, Dan, you know, movie stars have to impress us, and musicians have to impress us. They have to make us no matter how many people think about Prince and Michael Jackson. Think about the billions of people that love their music. There's still a ton of people who don't. And if Prince or Michael sat in the chair and said, wow, 1 billion people love my music, but, 500 million don't. That's a lot of people still. And some people can't take one negative comment, let alone 500 million. Not everyone's going to like what you do. If you do things to get likes, you're never satisfied. right? I don't do things to get likes. I don't post anything going, oh, no, I just post it because it's what I do in the moment that I think is good. I trust myself to put a product out there that I appreciate, I respect, and that is all my own, and I'm thankful for, and I'm grateful for, and I thank God for. And I don't really know how to describe it. I just do it. I just believe in myself, and I move forward. I don't write stand-up comedy jokes going, I think people will think this is funny. I got to write it about this subject because this is the subject, right? No, I write about things that happen to me in my life, right? And some people aren't going to like it. I've had a lot of crazy ex-girlfriends. I might go tell those jokes, and some women that are crazy ex-girlfriends or crazy current girlfriends or crazy ex-boyfriends or crazy current boyfriends may not like it because it may hit home and be too real. It may out them, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't tell that joke, right? We all have experiences, and those experiences provoke thoughts, and those experiences affect our lives. Somebody who went through the Holocaust and somebody who knows very little about it are going to have very different angles that they go to it. And can that person, what if somebody went through the Holocaust and did a podcast about going through it and the life of trying to survive and thrive and be okay, and you know what I mean? That's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody's going to listen to that. I think there's a lot of really good, talented people in hip-hop. My dad doesn't like hip-hop. He just doesn't like that type of music. He likes jazz. He likes classic rock. He likes country. Does my dad wrong? No. It's just what he likes. I got people that, I'm a lot like my grandfather, my Papa Cavino. He ate sardines, though. I have no desire to do that. I might try one someday, but I have no desire to have that day be today. And for the last 36 plus years, I never thought I should eat sardines today. But does that mean that my grandfather wasn't a good person that made good decisions? No, it means he was different. We're all a little bit different. And your peace, personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. I want you to think about that. I want you to say that to yourself every time you feel like you're having a stress or a panic attack. Say, peace is personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. If you start associating peace with chaos, you're gonna become a lot better, in my opinion. Because a lot of us associate peace with running somewhere, going somewhere that's quiet, that nobody else is there, that we have headphones on and nobody can hear us and we can't hear them. That's not peace, because that's not how normal life happens. Peace is when you can be calm, cool, and collected and take care of yourself and be healthy and positive and well, no matter what the world's doing. If there's a tornado, I want somebody who's personally evolving amidst a chaotic environment. Thinking in the moment about what we can do to save our lives, right? I don't want somebody in the middle of a tornado that's complaining about the tornado, yelling about the tornado, crying in the corner. I want someone who says, okay, I want to cry, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm this, I'm that, and the other, but above everything else, I need to personally evolve amidst the chaotic environment. I need to be at peace in this crazy, chaotic storm, because if I'm not, people may die. I may lose this. I may not get out of it, right? Because that's what chaos does. Chaos shows you who people are. Chaos either shows you that someone can't handle any of it, or it shows you that that's the person that you want in a zombie apocalypse. Chaos has a beautiful way of showing you the people that can handle life and the people that run away from it. And running away is an option, but any of you that think that that's a lifestyle choice that's okay, it's not. There's a lot of options. There's an option to do something bad every single day. And just because that's a road doesn't mean you should take it. And the option of I deal with chaos by not dealing with chaos, those people are dangerous, because they usually create their own chaos because they become numb to dealing with it. But people that don't deal with problems are people that don't live life. And people that don't live life are not affected by life, and people that are not affected by life have not learned how to be responsible and grow, and people who are not responsible and growing are people that will hurt you. Your peace comes from the inside out. God and you, inside out. Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. Every time you feel your peace disrupted, I want you to say that to yourself today. I need to personally evolve amidst chaotic environment. Peace has to do with chaos. Once you realize that peace has to do with chaos, you're going to get better, because people treat them as adversaries. There's peace and there's chaos. Now, when you can be peaceful amidst chaos, that is when you have truly figured out how to live. And I look forward to doing that with you. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. This has been LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, an acronym, presenting an acronym this morning. Peace getting presented by LEAD. LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is our segment every single Friday around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Cafe Kubal Studios is where we are, and Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay proudly presenting LEAD. And the acronym presented today by LEAD, Peace, Personal Evolution Amidst Chaotic Environment. Understand that peace must be found in chaos. Anybody can be peaceful in a peaceful situation. It's when you can be okay no matter what's happening around you and what people are doing to you and at you and saying to you. When you can be in an abusive place, in a scary place, in a place where somebody is doing bad things and you can stay a good person, that is when you know you have personally evolved amidst a chaotic environment. And then get out of the environment. Be good to yourself and be good to others, folks. And practice peace every day. Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. We'll be back right after this fast break to announce our top dog of the week right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. What is up, my good people of the internet? Happy to be back here hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. We are inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, and I am ecstatic for everything that's coming up here. We have a trio of Bills-centric things coming to you this morning. The first thing that we're going to do, and Gina knows about this segment, but she doesn't know that she's going to be on the phone while this is happening, because I want to get her thoughts on this as well. But I'm very, very excited to announce our top dog of the week this week. And our top dog of the week proudly comes to you from Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. My top dog of the week, and I talked about this at Pizza Man Pub yesterday with all of you that came out. By the way, fantastic crowd at Pizza Man, BVille Bills Backers Bar. We made history at Pizza Man last night. And we made history. First time that I've done this in almost 19 years as a broadcaster. I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, the first game is Bills-Rams, and I know that, there's a lot of Bills fans that go out to Pizza Man, and we have a partnership with Pizza Man of many years, and I said to Jimmy, I said, hey, what about I come out and do a special engagement wake-up call show, because we do our broadcast there once a month. We come out, and we do an additional broadcast to our morning show. I said, why don't I come out there and why don't I have Jeff Cook, the BVille Bills Backers president, join me as a co-host? He's been on the show before. And why don't we do a show together to pregame the Buffalo Bills season, their first game of the season, usher them into the season, and technically usher in the entire NFL. I said, why not do a pregame show? I said, these Bills fans have been here many a time, but they've never had a pregame show at Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville to lead them into a game, let alone lead them into an entire season. So we did that yesterday with Jeff Cook, who's going to be joining the show after Gina, and we got to be a part of that. And I said to them, this guy is my top dog of the week, and he was my top dog of the week from the first play of the game. And that is number 40, Von Mother Freaking Miller. Von Miller, Denver Bronco champion, Ram champion. And this man said, I'm leaving palm trees, beaches, Hollywood, so that I can go to the snow because I want to be with Josh Allen. And really low key, I think Von Miller said, I'm leaving $7 gas for $2 gas. But let's call it what it is. So very excited to have Gina Castelli here as I firmly, positively, passionately, and without question, announce Von Miller as my top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And that leads me into Gina on the phone, an avid Buffalo Bills fan who is at UAlbany on their women's basketball staff as an executive coach for program development and player relations. Gina, agree or disagree that Mr. Von Miller is the top dog of the week?
Okay. I love Von Miller, and I'm first of all, it's just great to be back on the radio and talking to you, Dan, and definitely excited about Von Miller and what he's done and how he's helped us win last night. But I also thought Josh Allen played really, really well. So if we can get two top dogs, I'd pick two. But Von Miller, he adds so much to our team. You know, it's not just what he does; it's who he is, his the experience, obviously, in winning championships, and the confidence he exudes. You know, it's like it just spills over to the team, and you can see it. I mean, the defense was great, so I'm so happy this morning. I never doubt, but the game's always got to be played, but I felt real good about the game yesterday. But today, so happy that we were able to win. That was a tough environment, and so happy for our Bills.
Well, and the thing is, not only to defeat the reigning Super Bowl champions, but to defeat them by 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, and there was about 172 combined turnovers in this game. So, I mean, from interception, and there was twice in the game where a turnover led to a turnover, where there's a fumble to a fumble, interception to an interception. I mean, you look at a team that made more than 3 turnovers in the game, and typically, you make 3 to 5 turnovers in a football game, you're not winning.
Exactly.
What can you say about the defense of this Bills team, that the offense turned the ball over as many times as it did, and they won convincingly, and they only allowed the Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Allen Robinson Rams to have 10 points the entire game?
Yeah, that was concerning, especially going into half, being tied and having, those turnovers. And, I was thinking we were playing actually really well. And then those mistakes that just kind of came, and we were having good runs and the fumbles, the interceptions. But, the defense, that was great. I mean, first possessions, of the second half where, we kept them. I don't even think they even got past the 30-yard line, for 3 downs, and then we're back on. And the defense was incredible, just incredible. But I did think our offense played well too. It just was those mistakes came. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, we're doing so well. We're making a good run, and then a fumble, or making a good run and an interception, and it just seemed like it just didn't seem like that was the way the game was going to pan out, though, either. Even though those things were happening, I still felt that we were playing well, So thankfully, our defense really, really helped us win that game.
Yeah, an incredible play here with Gina Castelli, avid Bills fan and a member of the UAlbany women's basketball staff. I spoke with Jeff Cook, who's coming up in a little bit, when we did our pregame at Pizza Man to lead y'all into the Buffalo Bills season and the NFL season as a whole. And I said to him, I was like, I'm going to ask you a question that I already feel like I know the answer to. And because I feel really every fan has this, and if not, they've had it at some point. And I said to him, I go, do you have any superstitions? And then I mentioned Gina Castelli on the air yesterday, and I said, if you want to know about superstitions, call one of my closest and dearest friends, Miss Gina Castelli. So, Gina, please describe to everybody that you were doing last night exactly what I said you were doing without even knowing you were doing it.
Well, I was trying to change it up for the year, so I'm thinking, all right, I'm not going to sit on the corner of the couch. I'm going to sit on the floor, because I was trying to stretch, and I'm watching the game, and we're doing okay, in the first quarter. Then I stood up, and I was standing right in front of the TV, and that's when we had the interception, the fumble. I'm like, all right, I can't do that. So I went back to sitting on the corner of my couch for the rest of the night. I mean, I didn't move there. Even when I knew the game was ours, I stayed right there because, I still have the 13 seconds in the back of my mind. So the game's not over until, time's up. So I stayed there, and I had my Bill shirt on, and it was fun. My sister, my youngest sister, and her husband were at the game, so it was pretty cool. They had sent some photos, and we had a big text thread with our family as well, and everybody was posting photos of where they were at, with their Bill shirts. And, we're all kind of like that. So, I don't feel like an oddball when I'm talking to them, but, anybody else around here, especially in the Albany area, because there's a lot of Giants and Jets fans out this way, that sometimes I feel like, oh God, I feel like such an odd man out.
Well, and the thing is, I think we all have, right, something, because we notice it. If it works, then we think to ourselves, okay, you know what? Like and it happened with Jeff Cook last night. After the half, Jimmy Delia, one of the owners of Pizza Man, he went downstairs to the basement of the restaurant, and there was a bunch of Bills stuff there. And he calls it the Bills graveyard because it was like remnants of the Bills Chiefs game last year. And there's a giant blue furry Bills hat with horns on it, and he gave it to Cook, and Cook put it on, and right after he put it on, they scored those touchdowns in the second half. And I was like, dude, you can't take it off now. Like, you can't. He said, I'm wearing this in every part of my life. I'm not going to wear it at game. He's like, I'm wearing it all the time now. But there's things like that where you see it, right? And you can't, like, not see the fact that, I walked out of the room, I got a bowl of Apple Jacks, they won, and the last couple weeks I got a bowl of Cheerios and they lost. So then you go and buy all the Apple Jacks that you can find at Wegmans, because you can't have a game where you don't eat Apple Jacks, because when you ate Cheerios, they lost, and God forbid they discontinue Apple Jacks, your team's going to lose every game. So
it's so funny. I mean, when I was at Lemoyne and coaching, and God bless, Matt Bassett, as we know, he passed away, and he was very superstitious. And when we would start playing, he would start in one corner of the gym. And my first year, I would see him, I don't know, he'd be in like the right corner, the left corner behind, and he'd be moving around. And I'd be thinking, like, what is he doing? I said, Matt, I saw you in the right corner, the left corner. He goes, that's my superstition. I start at one spot, and, if the team's doing well, I stay there. But if the team's not doing well, I just kind of rotate spots in the gym, And so, this was a big joke. And when we won the championship game, I remember him. We had played good from start to finish, and he pretty much stayed in one spot the whole time. So, I felt good that, all right, I think all sports people have a little bit of that type of superstition of what you're wearing, where you stand, what you're doing, and trying to keep it going. But it's our one way to show some control over the game,
And I'll never forget this from one of my favorite shows, and, going to school at Marywood University in Scranton, Pennsylvania, The Office, which was supposed to be set in Scranton, when Michael Scott, played by Steve Carell, said, I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. And so,
that's awesome. Oh, yeah.
And I remember, so I can tell you this, and to this day, I still do this. And I just had this conversation when I had bought a Super Mario centric thing this past Monday. And I said, I was like, when I play Mario and I want him to jump farther, I lift my shoulders up and I lean to the right, because he always jumps to the right. So I firmly believe, as a kid until now, if I don't move my body, he doesn't jump as far. So,
oh my God, that's awesome.
So, it's, but it's true. I'm like, I feel that. And then, but there's different things that you kind of, like, I've tried to kind of back away from with people like, oh, like, what are your superstitions of Jacksonville? But there's things that, you may, like, I know this about Jacksonville. The food in the press box has typically oftentimes been absolutely horrible. And the hot dogs are like these lukewarm, should I eat it? Did they just take it out of the package? And then there's like banana raisin pudding, bread pudding. And it was stuff that I thought there's no chance that I don't end up in the bathroom at some point during the game. But when we had that food, you look back and you go, okay, well, if they won 3 games like that, now they have chicken fingers. They need to go back to the lukewarm hot dog, because, it's just things you pay attention to that you can't help but see. I feel like I've come out of a lot of mine. I don't have a shirt that I wear, but I think that we all know, like, if you don't have that, like, this is the shirt I wear, this is the hat I wear, these are the lucky socks I have. you know that like if you watched 3 games in a row and like every game I watched with the Blake Bortles jersey on, Jacksonville lost 3 weeks in a row, I'm not going to wear that jersey. Like
Exactly.
so we kind of realize it over time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I had a favorite shirt last year, and that was a winning shirt 2 years ago, and when I wore it, we lost. So I had to change that out quickly. So I started with a different shirt this year, though. A simple T-shirt of the Bills, and I'm thinking, now do I wash this or not? So I'm going to keep it the way it is for the Monday night game, and then we'll see where it goes. But yeah, it's fun, and I'm super excited for every game. I mean, I know it's a long season, and you never know where it takes us, but we have a really, really strong team, and it's fun to watch, and it's fun to be to listen to their interviews and the humility that they show and the chemistry that they have. And there's a lot of their interviews that I have used too here at UAlbany for some culture things, and you learn a lot, by what some of these pro guys are saying. And so I'm so grateful that we have a winning team, and hopefully we'll win a Super Bowl. But right now I'm just really happy that we got a great thing going, and it's great for the city of Buffalo.
Yeah, and you talk about having a winning team, and I believe that on the other side of it, for Sean McVay, he's never been below 500 in the regular season in the NFL as a head coach until this morning.
Yeah, they had talked about that on the air. I mean, it's only one game. That guy's done a really good job. As a young coach, and I liked what he had to say too afterwards. He took total responsibility of their loss, and and that they were going to get better. And it's one game. I think that's the one thing that we all know as coaches and as sports people. It's one game of many games to come, and you learn probably a lot more from losses than you do from wins.
Well, you know that as a coach. I know that from playing. We know that from being people in life that pay attention. I know that you got to get rocking, so I'm going to do this quick, Gina. It's been a while since you've been on the show. We will have you back for an extended conversation soon, but for some odd reason, I think it's because I'm comfortable. Well, I know it's because I'm comfortable in my own skin. I want you to put me on the hot seat. We haven't talked in a minute on air, on radio and video, so I want you to ask me any 2 questions in the world. Be careful because you know me well, and you can ask me anything you want, and I have to answer it. So it's Friday, and I feel like putting myself on the hot seat. Here we go.
Where's your favorite place to eat in Syracuse?
Oh, man. I have so many places that I like. I would say, oh, man, that's so tough because I work with so many wonderful restaurants. I would probably tell you, I'm going to go back in time, and I'm going to tell you that I loved going with my grandfather, my mom's dad, my Pop Cavino, to OTB, to off-track betting, because him and my grandma bet on horses. And I didn't care what I got there. I just loved being there. And he let me, I would bet on a horse, and sometimes I won like once or twice. And then there was a horse named Daniel. And every time I bet on him when we were there, he won. And my grandfather would take the money and he would buy me candy. And I went to the fair on Monday and I bought some of like the old candy. I remember he used to buy me gobstoppers and bottle caps and all this stuff. So I would say that's one of my favorite memories having to do with food. But I think like a favorite restaurant growing up, I loved Malarkey's that used to be in Carousel Mall that had the giant monkey as the logo, and I used to have birthday parties there, and I was always a big fan of Ground Round too. So first place I had a taco salad. So I think if I'm going to go nostalgia, I would say Malarkey's or Ground Round.
Wow. Okay. Well, I had a couple other ones, but next one, who's your all-time favorite sports announcer?
My all-time favorite sports announcer, I would say, I when he passed away, I did a special, and I said to the mentor that never knew he was my mentor, and that was, something that meant the world to me, and I would say Stuart Scott, and So I've always been a person that like beats to my own drum, and he showed me that you should always be who you are every time. And, you know, like all of his catchphrases that people would have said, those are corny, those are stupid. Why would you tell them? You're a grown man. Aren't you scared? Do you think people will laugh at you? And then, like, all of those things became famous. Stuart Scott taught me every day to be exactly Daniel Tortora and to love it and to share it. And if people didn't like it, but I felt like it was the right thing to do, to keep doing it.
Yeah, he's a big loss at ESPN and great guy. That's a good one. Good one, Dan.
Yeah, so Stuart Scott. And with that being said, Gina will be back soon. We got to spend a few minutes here, but I will say this: if you're looking for Gina, just if you're looking for Gina on Monday night and you are around her, just walk into public spaces and smell for what she ate at this past game. Because if you ever want to know a true superstitious fan, they always smell like the food from the week before. So,
oh my God.
Because they don't wash the clothes. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So what did you have to eat?
You know what I had was a salad. It's funny you're saying that too, because when I was like munching on food, we were not doing well. So then I stopped eating. Okay, I got to just concentrate on this game. So now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't even be eating during these games. That's not good.
No.
That's no fun.
No, you got to definitely eat. I wanted you to be like, I had a chili dog. I'm like, hey, if you smell chili, it's either Stitch from Lilo and Stitch or it's Gina Castelli. So,
oh, that's funny.
But we'll have you back very soon, Gina. And,
right.
I appreciate you as always. And more than anything else, thank you for being genuinely one of the best people that I have met, that I have always been able to count on. And I think that anyone that knows you should know that you are a light. No matter how busy you are, you always find time. You always bring good to people's lives, and you've always looked out for me. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. And likewise to you as well. Have a great weekend.
All right, you two have fun.
Thanks,
and
Dan.
don't you wash anything. You better smell like salad on Monday night.
Bye-bye. Okay, bye.
Take care. That coming from Gina Castelli here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. It's true, though. It's true. If you want to know those really superstitious fans, just see them at the game the following week and be like, why do you smell like cider donuts? And it's like, oh, because last week before the game I went to Beacon Skiff. You know what I mean? And you don't wash the shirt. It's reality. See, I wash a lot. And the thing is, it's me in the house, right? It's me and Lily. And Lily does wear shirts. And that's her choice. People are like, oh, you're the dad that gives the dog the shirts. No. My dog likes to wear shirts. I don't know how to describe it to you other than the fact that she enjoys it. She will wear them for days. She will never complain about it. She'll never try to pull it off, rip it off. She won't look like, hey, I'm uncomfortable. She will wear it as long. You put it on her until you take it off of her. She'll wear it. And when she wants one, she'll go find them and she'll pick it. She'll growl. And then she'll look at the shirts and then she'll jump up and grab it with her teeth and pick that shirt. And you have to put it on her in that moment. I don't know how to describe that to you. But anyways, talking about laundry. I don't know what happens to me in a given week or two, but I do laundry in my home as if I have 3 children and a wife. I don't know what... I do big man, maybe it's because I wait, right? I throw a bunch of stuff in there and then I'm like, okay, now let's do laundry. But I feel like my hamper post laundry a couple days ago is already starting to stack it up. But see, I wash stuff. That's just, and that's the thing is I've gotten away from a lot of the superstitions because I just didn't think it was good for me. I was like, no, I can't do this. I don't think it's healthy. So I backed away from the superstitions, but I know that, there's things that other people do and I get it. I understand it. It's just, I try to not do it to the best of my ability. And what I do try to do to the best of my ability, and Gina was asking me about great restaurants in Syracuse, what I do try to do to the best of my ability is find really good food and really good places to get that food. And And so I have to shout out right now the wonderful people, because I promised I would do this. I was at Mother's Cupboard this week. By the way, my special with Coach Hicks is airing today, so don't miss it. But actually, it's going to air tomorrow morning. Sorry, tomorrow morning, because today is the night. So yeah, it's airing the 10th. So tomorrow morning it's going to air, and you can watch it, me and Coach Hicks. So don't miss it. It's an awesome, awesome show. One of the best ones we've done. And so I was there and, eating at Mother's Cupboard with Coach Hicks and with John Abdo. Shout out to them both. And shout out to Pete Green and Amy and the entire team out there. Much love to you all. And when I was there, I saw Pete make one of the signature massive pancakes that they make at Mother's Cupboard on 3709 James Street in Syracuse. And when I saw him make it, I said, God, that looks so good. I want to take it home. And I already had food to take home. And he goes, I'll make you a smaller one. And the smaller one, they had to fold and push to fit it into my to-go thing. So I promised Pete that on the air, and I typically don't do this on the air, but I promised him on the air that I would have my morning breakfast courtesy of Mother's Cupboard, and that I would eat my chocolate chip pancake. So I got him here in the studio. I'm rocking with him. If you heard a little bit of noise while Gina and I were doing the interview, I snuck a few bites in. But shout out to Mother's Cupboard providing me with my chocolate chip pancake for my breakfast. Head out to Mother's Cupboard today and all throughout the week, 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. open for breakfast and lunch on 3709 James Street in Syracuse, New York. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. And when we come back, we will get ready to have Cookie back on the show. We pregame together, and now we will postgame together. Jeff Cook, the BVille Bills Backers president, joins me after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicoli's.com. That's myaviccollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, Cafe Kubal here in these studios. You got to fill your cup up right at Cafe Kubal, 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, all in Syracuse, New York, of course. Inside of their double-decker cafe, which I call the Welcome Center of Manlius on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, where all roads converge into Manlius. And you can also find them on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road at Sweetheart Corners in their drive-through location of North Syracuse. And for those of you out of town, go to cafekubal.com. That's cafe, Kubal.com. So make sure you make your way over to Cafe Kubal today. With that being said, a lot of great stuff that we've been able to do on today's show. Inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. You know that we always give you every Friday a trio of segments here, signature segments. The Annoying Moment of the Week presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, the acronym that brought you an acronym today, presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. My acronym for peace, personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. And then our top dog of the week, we honored Von Miller. And then you see it from Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And then you see the Buffalo Bills logo, where we just had Gina Castelli on the show. And now the man who ushered in the Bills season with me yesterday, making history on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We have done many on-site broadcasts, but we have never, in the history of Wake Up Call, done an ushering in to the NFL season and the Bills season on site, on location, with Bills fans at a restaurant. Ever in the history of almost 19 years, we've never done a prelude to the season, leading you all the way up into the game from on site, on location. We've done a lot here on the show, but this was a special day. The BVille Bills Backers official bar, there with Jimmy and Luke Delia and the whole family, Jordan, everybody there with Pizza Man. Big shout out to the entire staff. They did a tremendous job, packed the place. BVille Bills Backers president Jeff Cook and I did our show, got you ready for the season, and pretty much everything that came out of Jeff's mouth in the prelude to the season happened in the game. So with that being said, let's bring in Cook. Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So first and foremost, nobody circles the wagon. So again, congratulations on a big-time victory as you and I officially not only led people into the Bills season, with the live broadcast of Wake Up Call at Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. But we also shut it down because we were the last 2 patrons at Pizza Man at 1 o'clock in the morning this morning. So congratulations on circling the wagons, and congratulations on being 50% of the final 2 people that were at Pizza Man this morning.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, that was quite the atmosphere last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy. And you know, you said a lot of things about, I mean, obviously, Von Miller got my top dog of the week. My very close second is who Gina chose, quarterback Josh Allen here. But there's a guy I want to get into because you mentioned him when we were talking going into the game, and that is Jordan Phillips, who ended the game with 4 tackles, 2 of them solo, 1.5 sacks in the game, and a tackle for a loss included amidst all of that. You made mention of Jordan Phillips and a couple times in our broadcast that we did at Pizza Man. So I'd love to get your thoughts on him because I know a lot of people are focusing on Von and obviously focusing on Ed Oliver, but Jordan Phillips held his own last night as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Phillips, along with all, I mean, like we mentioned in the broadcast yesterday, they're 7 deep on the defensive line, so their rotation, those guys are always going to be fresh. And having Jordan Phillips, you know, he went to Arizona, got his money, and he came back. And as I mentioned on the broadcast, that's a testament to Sean McDermott, and these guys want to play for him. And I mean, we saw last night what that defensive line is capable of, and it's going to be fun to watch all year. I mean, they had 7 sacks. I mean, Stafford, they couldn't do anything. It was something to watch. It was really cool to seeing how last year they couldn't get to the quarterback, and that is the reason that they lost to Kansas City in the playoffs. So good change of pace. I'm excited about it.
You know, and that's the thing. Some teams don't have 7 sacks in a season, and we're seeing 7 sacks last night. Von Miller had 2. Greg Rousseau had 1. Jordan Phillips had 1.5. AJ Epinesa had 1.5 as well in that. So seeing how all of this comes together, as well as the fact that, you know, Tremaine Edmonds, 10 total tackles, 7 solo. Want to call him out. My guy Matt Milano, who I covered in college, 7 tackles, 5 of those solo. So big ups to him on that. This defense all the way through did a tremendous job. And let's face it, the defense is a massive reason how the Bills get out of this one alive. Typically, when you have turnovers in general, let alone having 2 fumbles, both lost, and 2 interceptions. When you go through all of that like Buffalo went through, you don't typically see a team with 3 to 5 turnovers win the game, but the defense showed up and held the explosive Rams offense and Sean McVay to 10 points. Your thoughts on the overall play of the defense to know that a mistake-laden offense did a lot of good things, mind you, and we'll talk about it, but to have that many turnovers 90% of the time, that's usually the team that loses, but this defense would not allow the Rams to really do anything and held them scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive, and I mean, those turnovers, I mean, 2 of them were Rams territory, you know what I mean? Or the field was flipped, for sure, should I say. So the Rams had a short field, and they still couldn't do anything, and I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but we're forgetting that Trey White lineup, their top safety or their top corner. So when he gets back, I mean, it's the fact that they did this yesterday with 2 rookie. It was, and with this defensive line, it gives Milano and Edmonds a chance to go sideline to sideline. They're more in the pass game because they don't have to blitz anymore. They can do a 4-man rush. They didn't blitz yesterday. They just did a 4-man rush. I don't think they actually sent 5 once. And the pressure they got and how much it opens up for Edmonds and Milano to truly do what they're the best at doing. They're not these downhill guys. I mean, they're quick sideline to sideline, and you got to see it yesterday. And I think Edmonds and Milano, everyone was great, but it was awesome.
Speaking here with Jeff Cook, the president of the BVille Bills Backers and my co-host for a special engagement wake-up call that we did at Pizza Man last night to lead you into the 2022-23 NFL season, with the first game of the season being Bills at Rams. What surprised you the most about last night's game, be it Bills, Rams, or both?
what you just mentioned, how you can turn the ball over 4 times and beat the defending champs by 3 touchdowns. You have to be a really well-run organization, top down, to be able to do that. I mean, it's insane. So it surprised me. The defense, the corners, the rookie corners surprised me. I thought McVay was going to find a way to exploit them more, but he wasn't able to because the defensive line was applying so much pressure. So, I mean, with the experience in Hyde and Poyer, so what surprised me the most was the corners, the rookie corners. I was really impressed with them.
Yeah, fantastic play by this defense by all stretches of the imagination in the second half. And you had talked to me about it going, through the first half. You say, listen, Sean McVay is not going to allow a lot of things down the field. He wants you to beat him gradually. And then, one of the fans came over to you and said, listen, at some point, Sean McDermott's got to try, right? He's got to test it. He's got to push it. Then we saw Josh Allen push the pile, speaking of push, and he went into it. They tried to lift him up and body slam him. He came up red-faced, and right after it, and you said don't be surprised if he tries down the field now. And in that moment, he sent that ball deep downfield, and we saw 2 bombs come relatively close to each other in the second half. The whole open it up and give it a shot. And you kept saying he's going to take a chance, he's going to take a shot. And then after Josh Allen seemingly got a little bit peeved by what happened in the fact that the refs refused to blow the whistle, that right after that, he took that shot on Sean McVay. And after he took that shot, he kept taking them.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things, and we said at the beginning of the game, I was like, he's one of those weird quarterbacks need to take a hit to get into the game. And, I give Ken Dorsey a lot of credit. He didn't try to put his staple on the offense. He ran the offense the way Josh Allen's comfortable running it. He didn't try to come in and be this hero and do what he wanted. And you knew the shot was coming. They're not going to, but that's all they needed to juice him up. And I was pretty confident he was ready to take a shot. And that throw to Diggs on the run from 55 yards in a bucket, I mean, that was unbelievable. And your boy Jalen Ramsey didn't have much to say about that one last night.
Yeah, I want to correct something, not my boy. But
I know.
Yeah, but once Jalen Ramsey, I mean, I remember walking in the Jacksonville locker room, and I walked by Jalen, and it was one of the things that got carried virally, and I saw the camera light on his face, and there was a bunch of media people huddled around him, and that's when he was yelling and pointing at it. And I mean, he was the kid in class that just wanted anybody to pay attention to him. He didn't care how you got it or how he got the attention, but he would sit in the back of the classroom and just wait for somebody to look at him. And if you didn't look at him, he would try to make you look at him. And I remember that day when I walked by him and I saw that light on, not knowing that that was going to be one of the, viral moments of his career for probably not the best reasons. When I walked by, I looked at him, I shook my head from afar, and I said, I will never interview him. And it wasn't a personal thing. It was I know what I stand for as a human being, and I don't speak to hear myself, nor do I, try to get people's attention at any cost. And what confuses me about Jalen is if you follow him on social media, on Twitter, he always puts out Bible verses. But when you're in a locker room with Jalen Ramsey, I don't think of Jesus Christ or God or any of that in the actions and in the way that things are. And I said, years before it happened, I said, Jalen Ramsey, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcel Darius, and Telvin Smith are killing this team and they all need to go. And people were like, Dan, you're nuts. They're talented. And I said, yes, but they're also a virus and they're killing the locker room. And people look at you like you're cross-eyed. And I said, well, I'm in the locker room. Everybody I said that to wasn't in the locker room. And I said, being in that locker room, I can tell you for a fact. And I was like, I want 2 first-rounders for Jalen Ramsey. And I was told you're never going to get it. And then they got it. And then Telvin went. Yannick Ngakoue's been on 3 teams since Jacksonville traded him away. If he was an asset, he would stay somewhere. And, Marcel Darius, Mr. T, the guy that refused to do an interview unless he opened his shirt halfway to show his chest, put his chain out, and put his sunglasses on indoors. And I will tell you that this is almost an absolute for me. If you wear sunglasses inside, outside of a costume, if you wear sunglasses inside, there is an almost 100% chance that we're not going to be friends. So I can honestly tell you, and you and I, have both been around Marcel Darius. He's a Bill and a Jaguar. But, Jalen Ramsey, I said over and over again, yeah, he's talented. But when he got traded away from Jacksonville and Trey Herndon was there, Herndon filled in really well for Jacksonville. And there were guys that did a lot of good things. And I'm not saying they were him, but I didn't miss him as much. Jalen Ramsey is talented, but I will say this about an athlete, and I'll say this in dating. For an athlete, there's no one talented enough to deal with their crazy. And as I've told people at 36 years old, it doesn't matter how hot the person is you're dating. There is no amount of hot that can ever battle back someone's eyes bulging out of their head like Jim Carrey in The Mask, and I'm real about that.
Yeah, no, the Darius thing makes. I mean, one of the first moves McDermott and Dean made. He was traded in October 2017 for a conditional six-round pick. So that shows when they were trying to clear house and get the right people in the building. He was one of the first to go. So.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that he came to Jacksonville. Yay! But You look at how the offense played, and we'll shift over here to, Josh Allen threw a couple interceptions, and one of them, you talked about bouncing off of a receiver. Another one threw it behind the guy, and, mistakes happen. But for Josh Allen in this game, his numbers at the end of the game, despite a couple mistakes, and I say a couple, 26 of 31, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns passing, the leading rusher on the team, 56 yards on 10 carries, 5.6 yards a carry, and a touchdown. Your thoughts on the overall play of Mr. Josh Allen, who, despite a few blunders that we saw in this game where the team was in scoring position, still only had 5 incompletions, and not all of those incompletions were because he threw a bad pass.
Right. I think outside of that pass, his interception that he threw behind Crowder, I think he was perfect. I mean, McKenzie dropped and hit him in the numbers. What are you going to do? So still 26 to 31. What's that? 84% completion percentage. And that run with that stiff arm, I mean, that momentum changed right there when he stiff armed that dude. You're like, all right, they're ready to go. So Josh was Josh, and I think everyone's finally accepting like that might be the norm of Josh Allen because he's just that special. And again goes back to the Dorsey thing. I'm glad they let him be him. He wants to run the ball. You know what I mean? And he's not your everyday quarterback. Like he can take the hits. He wants to run the ball. I mean, he took Bobby Wagner head on in that goal line and got the touchdown. I mean, Josh was Josh. Josh was special, and I was thrilled with his performance.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest about it. Anytime anything in my life is trying to get me down, I'm gonna stiff arm it like Josh Allen did last night.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was holy cow, man. That was unbelievable. But no, he's the man. There's really nothing else to say about him. He's just incredible. I mean, it's special to watch, and myself and fellow Bills fans went through enough pain, so we deserve this.
Yeah, no, and you do, and you've been through enough things and had enough months to think about it, and and to look back on that stiff arm. I mean, that to me was, I mean, that's Josh being Josh, and I had said it too. I said, when I watched his film at Wyoming, I was talking about him going into the draft, saying like, hey, I love his arm. I think this guy's gonna be great in the NFL. Like, I'm a big fan of his arm. Loved watching his film. Very excited about it. Never thought of him as a runner. And then I went to the Bills-Jaguars game in Buffalo. 8 carries for 100 yards. And then yesterday, what he did with that stiff arm was just, I mean, it was undeniably ruthless. And that just looking at someone and pushing someone's face in motion while you're moving and they're moving, and to push their face, and with the power that you push their face to move their entire body is, that's some Bruce Smith status, but that's coming from Josh Allen.
From the quarterback position. That might be the stiff arm that we see all year, like when we saw the Derrick Henry stiff arm Josh Norman a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful play. I also want to talk about the pass that he had on the sideline to Stephon Diggs that I told you in slow motion. Everything about the play was slow. Stephon's turning toward, he was facing left. He turns right toward the sideline, and as the ball's coming to the right sideline and he goes to catch it in slow motion, Stephon's moving like one of those, animatronics you would see on Pirates of the Caribbean, but that ball still came through at normal speed. So it's like, even in a slow motion, that pass by Josh Allen was still faster than everything else there. Everybody else is moving like a mannequin that's on some type of rotator, and here's this ball coming in. Just what you can say about the ball placement, what Josh did, and how the speed of his pass somehow outdid instant replay in slow motion.
Yeah, I think when it happened, I looked at it, I was like, that's the best 10-yard non-touchdown pass I think I've ever seen. I mean, one, to have the you-know-what to throw that ball, the confidence and the you-know-what to throw that ball. Just, man, and Diggs knew it. I mean, it was a great catch by Diggs on the sideline, too. I mean, that was unbelievable. I mean, 9 times out of 10, the corners can jump that and take it, but Josh can make that throw.
And how about this? Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs combined over 200 yards receiving between the two of them. They accounted for over 200 of the 297 yards passing from Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs with 122 on 8 receptions, including a touchdown, caught 8 of the 9 passes thrown his way. Gabe Davis caught 4 of the 5 thrown his way for 88 yards and a touchdown. And shout out to UCF, as my guy Gabe Davis officially scored the first touchdown and was the first one in the end zone for the entire 2022-23 NFL season. Your thoughts on Diggs as well, because we talked about him a lot yesterday after the game, and Gabe Davis showing up in this one.
Like we said, yes, Diggs. I'm so happy for Diggs that he got rid of that persona of everyone thought he was a diva because what happened in Minnesota. I mean, he's team first 100%. And I think both of them are going to gain by Davis. I mean, last year, Emmanuel Sanders, he's a good receiver, but Gabe Davis is a much bigger threat. You could double Diggs more. Now you can't double either one of them. So I think you're going to see a lot. I think Davis is going to have a huge year. Davis is going to score. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them are double-digit touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Davis is he's special in the fact that it's so crazy how you watch the Sanders. People are like, all right, we'll double Diggs. We can do a Sanders. Not the case anymore, because you double Diggs, you're in trouble. So it's fun to watch. And I think outside of McKenzie with drop ball, I think he's going to be huge in the slot. And I think Crowder, if Crowder catches 3-4 balls a game like he did yesterday, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? So I think the whole receiving group, I think it's one of the best in the NFL for sure.
Well, the thing about Jamison Crowder, and like I had said, I covered him in college when he was at Duke, and he was drafted in 2015, 4th-round pick, 105 overall to Washington's franchise. I mean, this man has been all over the NFL, and we've seen him in Washington, we've seen him with the Jets, we've seen him with Buffalo now, but Jamison Crowder has definitely bounced around. I think he's an asset if he was just a return person, but to be their return and be your wide receiver, and Isaiah McKenzie, who got himself into the end zone, Mr. Single Digits over there, and Gabe Davis, I agree. I think Gabe Davis for 10 touchdowns is not anything crazy to say by any stretch of the imagination. So the Bills usher in the 2022-23 NFL season by defeating Super Bowl champion Rams on the road in Los Angeles. And mark my words, as I said months ago, the first game of this season, maybe the last game of this season. You know what I mean by that. Pay attention. So Bills get the victory. I get my first win in my predictions. So I'm very excited about that. Buffalo winning by my favorite number, 21. And we had a great time at Pizza Man, the official BVille Bills Backers bar. And you just heard from their president, Jeff Cook. Cook, anything else you want to end with before we let you go?
I'm good to go. Just now Buffalo's got a nice 10 days off and get ready for Monday Night Football. Tennessee comes to town. So, ready for that one.
And as I said to Gina Castelli, if you ever want to know a true fan, remember what they ate the week before, because when you go back to the bar, they're going to smell just like that because they're not washing it. So, if you're looking for Cook, he'll smell like sweet heat pizza and some buffalo garlic wings. And we'll see you on Monday night. But Jeff, as always, I appreciate it. Don't take that hat off. I hope your wife gets used to it, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you as well.
All right, man. Take care. See ya. That coming from Jeff Cook once again, the BVille Bills Backers president in the official BVille Bills Backers bar here in Central and Upstate New York, is there at Pizza Man Pub, proud partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where we were last night, 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville, New York. Make sure you head out there this weekend, and of course, a lot of great places to go. So much appreciation to the Pizza Man Pub. With that being said, we're going to take our final step aside and head into the weekend. Right after this fast break, brought to you by Josh Allen Stiff Arm. We'll be back inside the Cafe Kubal studios right after this.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus, where you will find handcrafted all-natural soy wax candles over 60 cents to freshen up your home. We carry a wide range of locally made items, Salsa Q's, Syracuse Salt, and Chocolate Pizza Company, to name a few. Let our knowledgeable staff help choose unique gifts and keepsakes for any occasion. Gifts for family and friends, and maybe a little something for yourself. Witty Wicks Candles and Gift Shop, Township 5 Camillus.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life. And we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT. Don't miss out on finding us live worldwide, Central and Upstate New York, the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, and of course all over the world on Facebook.com, YouTube.com, and MixLR.com, all / Wake Up Call DT, wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, and on facebook.com/live-now-DT. So make sure you connect with us. And once the shows go live, we're going to be adding a bunch of stuff this weekend to the archive, so don't miss it. We'll be putting a lot up on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. All you got to do on any one of these outlets is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you'll find us there. You can also ask your Alexa and Google Home devices to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they'll do that for you as well. I believe I may have exactly what that sounds like here. If you'd love to hear it, I'd love to share it with you. I believe I have this for you here on what it sounds like to talk to Miss Alexa about playing the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Very, very much appreciate everything that we get to do with all of these awesome devices and all the connections that we have. So, yep, here we go. So this is what it sounds like. Play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
Getting the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Here it is from TuneIn.
So that is Alexa, and Google Home will do that for you as well. So make sure you check us out at any one of those awesome outlets. Thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners and beyond. Much love to Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Witty Wicks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Watertown, and Wake Up Call is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your. Can do that here with us on youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all /Wake Up Call DT. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. to start off Wake Up Call is Dolphin Time. Every first and third Wednesday is AD and DT with Athletics Director of Lemoyne, Bob Beretta, and myself, Dan Tortora. And every second and fourth Wednesday, you get the Dolphin Dive, where we dive into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. We just did a special this week with the president of Lemoyne College, Dr. Linda Lemira, about reclassification, realignment, and so much more. You don't want to miss that exclusive content for you, straight from the president of Lemoyne College, a proud Jesuit institution. So big ups to everyone there. Thank you to everybody that's part of the family. And you can find them on the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com, as well as by subscribing to youtube.com /wakeupcalldt. And for more information on your Dolphins, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. And as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are proud exclusive multimedia marketing partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and the Bobcat Buzz has you buzzing about the Bobcats every single month. We have aired for you in just the last couple weeks' time. We have a one-on-one conversation with Carrie Welsh of the Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse women's soccer team, her teammate Gabby Cordero, as well as Haley Elsey, who's returning to soccer, and Jessica Shepard. Check out all those videos. Don't want to miss them. youtube.com /wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe while you're there. Plus, a roundtable discussion with all of those wonderful women on Wake Up Call. We did a roundtable with the women's soccer team, 2021 reigning national champions right here in Syracuse. Then we sat down with the reigning back-to-back national champion men's soccer team at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse. You could go back and watch that roundtable with head coach of the team, Nick Dimitrievsky, as well as Giovanni Galina, Sean Eltador, and Felipe Pampalum. So make sure you check all of those pieces out. Bobcat Buzz, they'll be added to the BSC SYR tab on wakeupcalldt.com, so you will not miss another piece of the Bobcats. Again, so make sure you check it out. The Bobcats are with me every single month. And this weekend, head out to Jones Road, the CNY Family Sports Center on Jones Road, right there by the Syracuse Coca-Cola and all that. So it's on Jones Road, Syracuse, New York, that complex, on the field, doubleheader this Saturday, and it's before the Syracuse football game. So at 3 p.m., we see the men's soccer team getting in action, and at approximately 5 p.m. in the doubleheader, we'll see the women's soccer team out there. See the doubleheader for Bryant and Stratton this weekend on the field, as well as Lemoyne women's soccer is going to be on Ted Grant Field on Salt Springs Road in Syracuse, New York, right off of Erie Boulevard, this coming Saturday at noon. So on Saturday, September 10th, you got Lemoyne women's soccer at home at noon. You got a doubleheader for Bryan and Stratton on Jones Road at CNY Family Sports Center outside, with the men's team at 3 and the women's team at 5. And then at 7 o'clock, you have Syracuse at UConn to go and watch at your favorite establishment, Wildcat Sports Pub, perfect place to go, Pizza Man Pub. Make sure you head out and show them some love. So a lot of great stuff coming up for you, and a fantastic weekend set up for you, especially with the quadruple header opportunity here, as you have Lemoyne at home for women's soccer, doubleheader for Bryan and Stratton soccer, men's and women's, and then you can watch Syracuse at UConn and enjoy that on the CBS Sports Network. And they're all at different times, none of them crossing over, which is a beautiful thing. Noon, 3, 5, 7. Your whole day is planned for supporting local and supporting Central and Upstate New York. So look forward to being out there. Can't wait to be out there. And I send you my love as always. With that being said, folks, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, I hope you learned something today. I hope you help yourself today. I hope you help somebody else today. I hope you pray to God today and you thank God for your life. If nothing else, you say thank you for being alive. And I really hope that you practice peace. Personal evolution amidst chaotic environment. Let's go. Let's do it. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT, Cafe Kubal Studios, 5 locations here in Central and Upstate New York. Go out and see them. Show them some love. Out of town, go to cafekubal.com. Fill your cup up right today, and pumpkin spice is back. And as always, head out to Witty Wicks, too. Witty Wicks in 190 Township Boulevard in Township 5 in Camillus, right in front of Movie Tavern. Head to Witty Wicks today and all over the weekend. They got a ton of stuff in for the fall, ton of Halloween stuff, ton of football stuff, and we're going to be posting a video today to let you know all the things you should go out and buy so that you can prepare your house the correct way for Syracuse UConn tomorrow. Witty Wicks, fantastic local place, supporting the community and doing a fantastic job over the years. Thank them so much for what they've done. Go out to Witty Wicks, 190 Township Boulevard in Camillus, New York, right in front of Movie Tavern. And as always, God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon. Stay safe and be good to each other and yourself.